and welcome to another Organist Entertains from here at Bellshill Central Parish Church. Now, over the last couple of episodes, I've been sitting in various different places in our church, hopefully giving some of our regular attenders a reminder of their seat, where they sit and what they see. Now, I think I've kind of ran out of spaces, but there are plenty of seats in the church, and I know that there's more people than I can remember come to church, and I can't remember where everybody particularly sits. So if you'd like me to do the introductions to the Organist Entertains from your seat, then please do get in touch. Now, if it happens to be Kathy Bryden's seat, I do promise not to touch the stash of sweeties that are stashed under the hymn board on the pew. Now, tonight's Organist Entertains has a couple of new requestees, if that actually is a word. A couple of people have requested getting these videos on a CD so that they can listen to them at home. The first of our new requestees is Mrs. Margaret Stewart, a member here at Bellshill Central, and is loving getting the CDs. So welcome, Margaret, for your first request. The second new requestee is June Baird. June and her mum, Mary, have just started getting these on CD as well and are enjoying listening to them. So it's good that we have a request from June. So, welcome to Mary, June, and Margaret, who are our new listeners. We'll get to their requests a little bit later on. However, the first request tonight is a more modern worship song, and it's been requested by Bellshill Central member Anne Dillon. Now, some of you will be very surprised to know that it's not Anne's most favourite hymn, which is As the Deer Pants for the Water. The hymn that she's asked for is King of Kings, Majesty. It's a wonderful new hymn, and we have sang this quite a few times now here at Bellshill Central, and people do like it. It's got a lovely melody and a lovely set of words, which it's like one of these new hymns which is fast becoming a favourite, and I'm sure that it will still be up there with the favourites in many, many years to come. Hello, and we are back down in the organ pit. The second item in tonight's Organist Entertains is the request of Mrs. Margaret Stewart. She has requested the song Do Not Be Afraid, for I Have Redeemed You. Now, Do Not Be Afraid is a song written by Gerald Markland. The verses: when you walk through the waters, when the fire is burning, when the fear of loneliness, and when you dwell in the exile of the stranger, are very calming, emotive words set to the beautiful tune. It uses some of the softer stops of the organ, and it's just a beautiful hymn which I do hope that you enjoy either listening to or singing along with. And thanks, Mrs. Stewart, for requesting such a lovely song for our second item. Last week, I followed a little bit of an order of service. So after the second hymn, I played something which I might play for the offering here at church. So tonight, in episode 31, I'm doing the same. I'm revisiting the book which I opened up last week, and it was the Book of Organ Voluntaries by Albert Oswald. And tonight I'm using a piece which is the fifth piece in the series of the book, and it's just simply entitled Gavotte. Now, a gavotte is a dance, and I'm sure that you could dance around to this jolly little piece. It's a piece of music in two sections, basically, and what I am doing is utilising some of the beautiful flute stops that we have here on the organ at Bellshill Central. For the organ buffs, there are no stops in the organ above 4 foot pitch. Now, we spoke about this before. 8 foot pitch is piano tone. So if I played middle C on a piano and played middle C on the organ using an 8 foot stop, it would sound at the same pitch. And then if you use a 4 foot pitch, it's an octave above. And if you use a 16 foot pitch, it's an octave below. So what I'm doing, I'm using a 16 foot flute, not easy to say, and a 4 foot flute, again, not too easy to say. I play the melody an octave higher, which means I'm turning a 4 foot flute, my teeth are falling out, 4 foot flute up an octave as a 2 foot flute, and I'm playing the 16 foot flute an octave up, giving me an 8 foot. Are you confused? I'm getting there, so I don't blame you. However, what it creates is a nice fluty, chiffy kind of sound, which we wouldn't normally get on this organ because it doesn't have a 2 foot flute. The middle sections use some flutes and some strings from the swell section before we return back to the nice joyful section where I make some flutes up from the flutes that we have on the organ. It's a piece that I sometimes play before the service, but it's very suited to the offering. So I hope you enjoy, now that I've tried to explain how I get some of the sounds, the Gavotte by Albert Oswald. Our third song tonight is a hymn request by June Baird, one of our new requestees, as I say, if that is even a word. June's request is, "In Christ There Is No East or West. It's a hymn which is found in Mission Praise, and it is also found in CH4. Now, on looking up this hymn, it can be sung to 3 different tunes. The first of which is Kilmarnock, which goes, In Christ there is no east or west. The second tune is McKee. In Christ there is no east or west. Or the tune which June has requested it to. In Christ there is no east or west. And this is a fantastic example of how the meters of tunes can be used to create different moods, etc. for words. So that was the same set of words with 3 different tunes which have a kind of different mood or a different tone. However, June's request is for In Christ There Is No East or West to the tune of St. Stephen. So thanks, June, for picking your first request of our virtual church, Organist Entertains. Moving on, our next hymn request is from Alexa Walker, a member here at Bellshill Central Parish Church. She has requested the hymn, Hark How the Adoring Hosts Above. It's set to the tune of St. Magnus, which is a familiar tune to us here in church. The words are paraphrase 65, and that is taken from the book of Revelation, chapter 5, verses 11 to 14. The tune, as I say, is familiar, for the head that once was crowned with thorns, but the words are different. Hark how the adoring hosts above. The second verse talks about worthy the Lamb that died, for us he was slain. So for that verse, we utilise the swell horn, and I hope that through using these different tones and colours through each different verse, it helps paint a picture of the words through the music. So thanks, Alexa, for your choice. Hark how the adoring hosts above. Our next song, Hymn, continues with some painting by registration. Now that just means that I am trying to use the tones and the colours of the organ through the different stops that I use or the different volumes that I use to help tell the story. The hymn is Dear Lord and Father of Mankind, Forgive Our Foolish Ways. The tune is of course Repton, and I think that in a Songs of Praise top 10 that this was in the top 10. The words are by John Greenleaf Whittier, and the tune Repton is by Charles Hubert Hastings Parry. The hymn has been requested by my mum, Mary Mathew, and I'm not sure why she picked it, because it's sung in unison, and being an alto, she never sings anything in unison. I'm assuming she likes the tune, and she likes the words, and she likes how the organ can help paint the picture of the words through the music. Verse 5, Drop thy still dews of quietness, uses some of the softer registrations in the organ. However, that's just a calm before the storm. Breathe through the heats of our desire. Starts with full organ, all stops pulled out, all guns blazing. But hopefully you'll be able to see me use the registration aids of the organ to change the stops, the tone and the colour as we come towards the end of the verse. Speak through the earthquake, wind and fire, O still, small voice of calm. We have the hymn, Dear Lord and Father of Mankind. Our next hymn is a hymn that we like to sing here in Bellshill Central Parish Church. It is the hymn Because He Lives, or God Sent His Son, They Called Him Jesus. It's a hymn by the Gaither people, Gloria and William Gaither, and it has been requested by Elspeth Dornan, who sings in our church choir here at Bellshill Central. The other night, Elspeth was looking through the hymn book and sending messages to me. How about this one? Oh, can I have that one? Have we had this one before? So one of our first choices was And Can It Be, which we've had a couple of times. And then she stuck on God Sent His Son, because we've not had that yet as the Organist Entertains, and she knows that we do like to sing it here at Bellshill Central. So here for Elspeth and for everyone who loves the hymn, we have God Sent His Son, They Called Him Jesus. An extra hymn we have tonight is for the anniversary of two of our members, Susan and Ian McLeish. They were married here in the church building when it was called Bellshill MacDonald Memorial Church on the 5th of October. And one of the hymns they had on their wedding day is this one. One more step along the world I go. Now, lots of us will remember singing this perhaps at school or perhaps at Sunday school. And it's a song that talks about the different paths of life, and it's most appropriate for a wedding. So Susan and Ian, as we hear the hymn, One More Step Along the World I Go, I do hope that it brings back fond memories of your wedding here in the building when it was MacDonald Memorial, and that you enjoyed a very happy wedding anniversary on the 5th of October. Sometimes at Bellshill Central, we as the choir perhaps sing something to aid us through a moment of prayer. We've sung things such as O Lord, hear my prayer, which is a Taizé song. One of the other songs that we've used when we've helped lead prayer is Bless the Lord, my soul. It's another Taizé piece, and it's very, very useful, very, very reflective, and very, very meaningful. It's a song which Elspeth has requested. It's a short song, and I'll play it through a couple of times, and it uses some of the softer stops in the organ, because we would have this normally if we were having a prayer. So thanks, Elspeth, for picking something which makes me choose some of the softer stops in the organ. We have now a few verses of Bless the Lord, my soul. As we come to the end of tonight's Organist Entertains, we finish with another request from Alexa Walker. The hymn is Soldiers of Christ Arise. Now, the words are Soldiers of Christ arise and put your armour on, strong in the strength which God supplies through his eternal Son. The words are written by Charles Wesley, that great hymn writer, and the tune is simply called From Strength to Strength by Edward Naylor. It's a hymn which we don't often sing in church these days, but it's a good going hymn, especially if it were for the last hymn of the service. So it's very apt to close the requests part by singing Soldiers of Christ Arise. Well, folks, we finish tonight with a request. It's not a request for a hymn. It's not a request of a worship song. It's a request for a particular piece of organ music. It's a piece of organ music which I have played before, and it's a piece of organ music which stirred up some memories for a follower of these videos. Bert Davidson is the husband of Jean Davidson, and they are members of Craiglockhart Church in Edinburgh. Our friend John Hume got in touch to say that this stirred up memories for Bert. Now, Bert was a church organist in various different churches, and he remembers playing this piece of music, which is why he has requested it. It's Handel's Largo, and every book that I've played it out of has it in the key of G. So you could say Largo in G by Handel. However, Bert remembers a book or a piece of music which it was entitled Handel's Largo in F, and he believes it was just a simple error. However, he's always known it as Handel's Largo in F, although tonight I'm playing Handel's Largo in G. So I hope that this is a fitting way to close tonight's virtual church with your Organist Entertains with the request from Bert Davidson of Handel's Largo. Well, folks, that's us come to another end of the Organist Entertains, and I am packing up to go home. So I hope that you've enjoyed tonight's Organist Entertains. I hope you feel that you feel part of our community here at Bellshill Central Parish Church. And if you've got any requests for the Organist Entertains, that you get in touch with me and you tell me what they happen to be, and we'll include them where and when we can. So stay safe, keep well, and we'll see you once again next week.